Hey guys. So today I decided to, it's really hot today too. But I decided to start seeing what the issue is with this motor and why it's not running on all eight. I pulled out these front two plugs here and right here. So I'll show these to you guys. So this, as you can see, they're very fouled, carbon tracked, carboned. So that tells me this engine's been running rich. So the air fuel mixture is not right. And something else. There's a lot of spider webs on these spark plugs, and something else I never ran into. I've never worked on a GM engine this large before, so I don't know if the other ones are like this, but this uses a 13/16 inch spark plug wrench, which I find kind of odd. All my other GM cars I had in the past were 5/8, so that kind of threw me off a little. I'm just gonna put these back in the engine for now, but yeah, that's what I was doing today. And just checking the plugs, so I'm pretty sure they're probably all carbon tracked, like carboned up. So I'm gonna start ordering some stuff for this car. Little stuff here and there, just for now. Little things I can afford, cheap stuff like the tune-up parts are pretty cheap. I'm gonna rig up a boat tank in here or something, an auxiliary gas system until I can get this system flushed out correctly. Just for now, I'm gonna take this carburetor off and clean it. Probably this weekend. I'll get it. Try to clean it up a little bit. And supposed to go to my cousin's and get some. He's got some older GM car parts laying around. He said I could have. So I'm gonna go check that stuff out. But this carburetor needs a cleaning, a tuning. See if I can borrow a vacuum gauge from him and set these screws here. And I was gonna look and see how much it would be to get the brackets and everything for the TV cable. TV cable's not hooked up, and that's part of the problem with the Trans. It does need a shift kit put in, which I gotta do. And then back here I noticed I have a ground wire that's not even attached to anything, so I'll have to get on that. Yeah, I want to replace all this stuff, clean this up, and see if we can get this thing to run a little bit smoother. And I think that will help a lot. Definitely gotta replace this fuel system. I'm gonna get some more. I'm gonna get a new fuel filter, probably the just a cheap metal one to throw in here for now. I just want to see if I can get it run better. We can worry about making it pretty later. Let's make this car function over form, I guess, is what I'm getting at. And I gotta get a wiring schematic and check out all these. This is the original harness to the V6 that was in here, and I kind of want to delete it, because I think that I can run the heat and the wipers and everything off its own system if I can get it all figured out, so because there's a lot of wiring in here that does absolutely nothing. I would eventually we're gonna rip this motor and trans out of here so that I can clean this engine bay up. Been kind of doing some dreaming and some planning, you know, and you know how that goes. Minds change, things happen, but I would really love to have this car painted white and with gold wheels and like a gold stripe on the rocker panel area. I really think that would set this car off. I've always been in love with the 69 442 Hearst 442 with the white and gold, and I would really love to do that same kind of treatment to this car as well. So let's see if we can get this 403 to behave a little bit better. And we're going to do some cheap stuff first. So I guess stay tuned to the videos. I know there hasn't been many in the last couple weeks, really, but really nothing much going on. It's been really hot. It rained for 5 days straight, like a lot. Had my basement flood. We had to put wheel bearings in the Saturn, but I didn't film any of that because that car fought me and fought me and fought me. The wheel bearing on the passenger side was completely seized, and I had to beat the ever-loving hell out of it to get it out because I, A, for some reason, don't have a dead blow hammer, and B, don't have a map torch. So I just did what came natural, cavemaned it to death until it came out. But yep, that's where we're at anyway with this car. Let's focus on the cheap stuff. We can get a rebuild kit fairly cheap for this carburetor. I'm gonna try to lock down a boat tank. I want to put a boat tank over here we can run just to get better fuel running through this thing. Let's set up a choke. It's got all the holes for a choke system here. We can put an electric choke on this carburetor so that we don't have to run in a manual through the firewall, because I really don't want to do that. I like to not cut any holes into this car. It's got enough holes in it. But yeah, I think half its issue is it's running too rich. The spark plugs are fouled out. I have no idea what the health of that cap and rotor are. And everything just looks old. So we're going to replace it, and charging system as well. That alternator needs to be at very least tested and rewired correctly. And the ground for the battery is in a funky spot. I don't necessarily like this spot right here, so I'm not sure it's grounding very good off of the aluminum, these intake of the aluminum. So, but that's where we're at with the Cutlass. So stay tuned. I'm going to start ordering things probably week by week if I can. Cheap parts, and as I get stuff, we'll apply it into the car. But we're going to start with plugs, wires, cap, rotor. See if that helps it. Dump some fresh gas into the thing. Thinking of running clicky clack fuel pump off of a tank, right? So we'll do that. New fuel filter. Clean this carburetor up a little bit. Try to tune it. It's plugged off right here. So figure out what that plug is, because I'm not too up on Edelbrock's. I've owned one once before in a Dodge Dakota that I put together and didn't really have any issues with it. Then I sold the truck, so I didn't really have to mess with that one. So wouldn't be I think part of the reason that the TV cable isn't hooked up is because it would hit this block off plate. So either we need to get a bigger spacer or figure out what we can do, because we need to run that TV cable. These turbo hydromatic 350 transmissions rely on that throttle valve cable for line pressure and telling it when to shift and things like that. So definitely need to do that. All right, guys, enough of me yammering. I know there's a lot of videos of what I'm going to do, but I am going to get on it because it's been sitting and sitting. So we need to start doing some things. And we can do things pretty much on the cheap on these cars. So I'm going to start with cheap stuff. And a little amazed that these spark plugs are 13-16 cents though. That's it's crazy to me. Anyway, thanks for watching, and yeah, well, keep plugging away at this old girl. I want to get a bigger air cleaner too. I hate these tiny air cleaners. See if I can find one that'll still clear the hood, but you know, bigger. Because it needs to breathe, you know what I mean? It needs to breathe. So, alright guys, have a good one, and we'll talk to y'all later.